Yo, what's good, hoes? I know some of y'all are hoes, maybe not all of y'all, but some of y'all. It is your boy Hybrid, bringing y'all the build video for the Warden. This one's going to be a little bit of a shorter video because I'm going to give y'all the build. I may throw in some gameplay, but we'll see. There's already a long ass video of me playing the build. But we're going to cover gear, skills, CP. I'm going to try to throw some tips and tricks in there for newer wardens who want to get better at playing warden. But yeah, man, let's get right into it. All right, so we're gonna start this off short and simple. We're gonna start with the character sheet. Yes, I play on adventurer. Do not fucking judge me, okay? I am not a PvE demon. But we're gonna be running 44 in the health, 20 in the stamina. We really wanted to hit that 35k health mark, but we also wanted to make sure I was at least over 23ish k stamina. 24 is just a bonus for me, honestly. We're gonna be running the Serpent Mundus Stone, and just things on the character sheet that I typically look for PvP builds. Not just this, but in general, I always roughly recommend to have at least 30k health, at least. As far as stamina builds, I only play stamina builds, so I don't really touch mag, but I try to be anywhere above 23k max stam. For me, that's the sweet spot of what I can sustain and dodge roll and all that, etc. As far as weapon damage, as long as I'm around 4k unbuffed, I'm fine. I'm not out here trying to chase the max weapon damage that I can get, because at the end of the day, it becomes redundant. You can have all the weapon damage in the world if you don't know how to use your thumbs. Regen, depending on the class, I like to sit around 15-ish to 2,000, depending on the class. Obviously, you have things like the Warden, you have sustain built into the class, but again, that's just a class-by-class basis. But if we're going strictly just off of base characters, 15 is kind of where I like to sit at. Penetration, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't really look at the penetration on my character sheets. I really don't. Pen is just one of those things. I know it's important, but anytime I try to go for a build that's like perfect on paper, shit never works. Crit resistance, 20. It's got to be 2,000 above. Got to be. Whether you got to get it from your CP, whether you got to run, rally, and cry, whatever you got to do to get your critical resistance to at least 2,000 is a sweet spot for me. And I emphasize for me. Spell and physical resistance is another one of those. If I get to 20 buffed on my front bar, I'm fine. But back bar, I like to at least be above 25, closer to 30, if I can get there. Okay, if I can't get there with just regular armor buff and vigor, we have a problem, and I may have to put on more heavy. But we're not running vamps, none of that weirdo shit, and we're gonna jump into the gear next. Alrighty, here we are. This is the part everybody loves to just try to skip to, and all that extra shit. But we're gonna start with the slottables. We are running Bewitched Sugar Skulls as our food. I know smoked bear haunches has a check mark next to it, but we're not running that on this build. Okay, we got the Bewitched Sugar Skulls, which is a max health, max stam, and max magicka food with the health recovery, which is complete dog shit, so don't even worry about it. Okay, we have enough sustain. We already were at 15, which is my sweet spot before food, so I was okay sacrificing the regen because I was kind of already at my comfortability level of regen. We will be running tri-stat potions, but we also keep them stealth detection potions on deck, because there's a lot of fucking blades who like to try to sneak out and don't want to keep that same energy. Obviously, we got Covenant ballistas, forward camps, etc., etc. And no, I don't really siege. I just siege to get some fights. Dropping down to the first set, we're going to be running Ares Cry. I know everybody and their mama knows about Ares Cry, but if you live under a rock, or you just don't play like that, it's going to give you a 2-piece 1435 offensive penetration. 3 pieces is 124 weapon and spell damage. 4 pieces 124 weapon and spell damage. And 5-piece dealing damage with a light attack applies Eagle's Mark to your target for 12 seconds. Eagle Mark causes an eagle to attack your target every 3 seconds. After a 3-second delay, dealing 3794 physical damage per attack. Applying Eagle's Mark grants you Ares Call for 12 seconds, increasing your damage done by 10% against enemies with the Eagle's Mark. This is basically Essence Thief, but a better 2 through 4 set, in my personal opinion. Does it suck that it's kind of single target? Absolutely. But it's a good set. It does a lot of damage for you, a lot of pressure. Run it. On our back bar, we have Mars Bomb Ice Staff. Again, this is going to be, like I talked about in my other video, Mars Bomb is the only defensive set that I really need at this point in this game. It's just my favorite set right now. It's going to give you 2-piece, 1435 armor. 3-piece gives you 410 critical resistance. 4-piece is 4% healing taken. And a 5-piece, when a negative effect is removed from you, restore 1089 health. This effect can occur once every second. When you take damage and have 6 or more negative effects, you restore 1089 health per negative effect and then cleanse all. This effect can happen every 30 seconds. I want you to remember that 5-piece, when a negative effect is removed from you, you restore health. That happens every second. Remember that when we get to the skills. Moving on to the Monster Helm. This is the secret sauce that everybody says that I be hiding, or that all these extras be hiding, but I really haven't seen nobody even talk about this set. But it's what I've been running, so I'm gonna let y'all know. 1-piece is 124 weapon and spell damage. 2-piece, dealing damage with a bash or heavy attack. Deals 4152 frost damage over 8 seconds to the enemy. This effect can happen every 8 seconds. Oops. If the effect complete, the enemy applies minor brittle up to 6 enemies within 12 meters itself. So that's a AoE minor brittle. Okay? If the enemy dies, the enemy releases a glittering energy, restoring 847 magicka and stamina to you and group members within 12 meters. So the way I look at this set is either I'm going to get damage because you didn't die, or I'm going to get sustained because you did die. So to me, it's a win-win monster set. I don't see anybody running it. Frost damage, we kind of, as a warden, you kind of get extra frost damage, so it kind of matches the vibe. But I've honestly been really liking this set. The sustain is nice. The minor brittle, which I believe is extra crit damage, which I may not have high crit damage on this build, but any little bit helps. Next, we got Gallant Chain, also known as 1-piece trainee. We have the shoulder piece, which is a medium. We have a light waist, light hands, heavy legs, medium feet, and I believe the head is medium as well. So that's what, 1, 2, 3 medium, 1, 2 heavy, 1 light. Okay. Moving on to the jewelry, we have Mars Bomb, obviously. We have an infused weapon and spell damage glyph. We have another infused weapon and spell damage glyph. And then we are running Death Dealer's Feet. Death Dealer's Feet, I feel like it's always been like a warden staple. You can't beat it. It's just extra sustain, extra resources. Can't beat it. And we went with an infused stamina recovery. So we're going to jump over to the skills next. Alright, switching gears over to the skills. We are going to be running Wrecking Blow on the front bar. We have Lotus Blossom, Deceptive Predator, Deep Fissure, Executioner, and Dawnbreaker. Really, for me, the only things that can be argued or changeable on this list is going to be the other morph of Wrecking Blow and the other morph of Deceptive Predator. Now, if you want to get into the Vamp Slap shit and all that, you can, but for me, it's not a good play style for what I like to do. Back bar, we've got Healing Soul, which we have the Warden Charm on and the Major Vitality. We're running Elemental Suggestibility, if that's how you say it. You know, ESO content creators can't read. We have Resolving Vigor, Bull Netch. Now, you remember, what we said is every second with Mars Bomb, it cleanses, you get healed for everything that gets cleansed. Well, every 5 seconds, this is already cleansing one. So you got to remember, every 5 seconds that Mars Bomb is going to proc either way, just off of having this up. This is also your Major Brutality and your Sustained buff for Warden. We're running Ice Fortress and not Northern Storm. I don't know what the fuck I have. I may get hate for this, but I'm going to say it. Permafrost is fucking ass. There, I said it. It's fucking ass compared to what it used to be. If you're not running Healing Thicket on the back bar, what are you doing? Let's be honest, you're not killing anybody in the Permafrost anymore like you used to. And who wouldn't want a massive heal that only costs 85 ultimate? Right? So, run Healing Thicket. Get off the Permafrost shit. It doesn't work. Let's see, what are some things that I could change about the back bar? Obviously, if you didn't want to run the Healing Soul, you could throw on the Polar Wind. You could put, if you don't want to run Ice Staff back bar, you can put Divines on the back. But Warden's kind of in a spot where it's like you kind of need certain skills. Okay, we're going to jump over to the class masteries. We have Wild Adaptation. Gain 333 weapon and spell damage for each status effect on your target up to a maximum of 1665. Now, I know I have said this before, I think in a separate video or somewhere. The wording on this is complete dog shit. Okay, this is not status effects that you apply to the target or who you're fighting. This is status effects that are applied to you individually. So if somebody hits you with an Elisus, that's what's going to proc this. So they need to fix the wording because I feel like a lot of people are confused about that. That's what this means. So if you ever get that glitched out burning shit that's stuck on you, you get free damage. So why not? And we're going to be running the Greenkeeper's High, which will reduce your damage taken by 3% for every status effect active on your attacker up to a maximum of 15 seconds. I believe this one is worded correctly the way it's supposed to be, but extra tankiness that stacks with the major protection from Ice Fortress, or the minor protection by Ice Fortress. My fault. Obviously, get your Rachel passes. We are Imperial. You can run really any race at this point. You can run Orc, you can run Imperial, you can run Nord, you can run Dark Elf. Whatever it is you want to run, you can run. The only thing you're really going to be changing is probably attribute points and glyphs. But at the end of the day, they all work. And obviously get your alchemy passive. But we're going to jump over to the champion points. As we drop into third gear, we're going to talk about the champion points. We run Cleansing Revival, Force of Nature, Ironclad, and Cutting Defense is what I've been testing. But originally, when Cutting Defense is not here, it is going to be Master at Arms. Okay. So Cleansing Revival is healing a target under 25%. Health removes all harmful effects from them. This effect can occur once every 24 seconds. Force of Nature increases your offensive penetration by 660 for every status effect your target has. So again, that's jumping up our pen paired with the major and minor breach from the Deep Fissure or the Shocks, whatever you want to call them. Ironclad is just another flat damage mitigation, so that's 6% on top of the, I think it's minor protection 15. It's just a 15% plus the class mastery, which I think was, I don't remember what it was. I think it was 15 or something like that. And Cutting Defense, you deal 428 magic damage to attackers whenever they damage you with a direct damage attack within 7 meters. This effect scales off the higher of your weapon and spell resistance and can activate your weapon, enchantment, and poison. This is just free damage. Free damage for being attacked. So why would you not take advantage of that? Jumping over to the red tree, we have Fortify, which is increasing our armor. We have Sustained by Suffering, which increases your health, magic, and stam recovery by 30 per stage up to 150. We also have Pain's Refuge, which is, again, more flat damage mitigation. And we have Survival Instincts, which is, while afflicted with status effect, your core combat skills become 25% less. So that's your dodge roll, your blocking, etc., etc. So when people ask, how are you able to take so much damage? It's because we have so much damage mitigation stacked. We have 6%. Nope, that's not. We have 6% here. Okay. Paired with another up to 20%. Paired with, if we come back up here to Ice Fortress, that's 5%. Paired with another 15%. So we're just stacking raw damage mitigation. Not to mention, if you come down here to your Ice Staff on the back bar, you're also able to block up to 20% more damage. So when you start looking at the game as instead of trying to stack buffs, right? I've gotten to the point of, let me just stack raw stats. I don't care to stack minor and major berserks and major brutality and minor brutality. No, let me just get my raw damage, my raw damage mitigations, and let's just get it popping. I think when you start looking at the character sheet too much is when things start going downhill, because now you're chasing numbers that don't translate to real world stuff. But let's look at a little bit of a buffed up character sheet on the front bar. We jump up to 5114 before any of those other class masteries kick in. We got up to 22 spell resistance and 21 physical resistance. On the back bar, we're chilling at a 27 and 25 resistance with almost 4k weapon damage. But again, that'll go up after you get continuous. And do I have a... And I also do have a enhanced weapon glyph. So these are just base stats alone, which are pretty decent. But as far as tips for playing Warden, I feel like a lot of people do not rely on Betty Netch enough. Like, Betty Netch is a free, it's a free heal. So why are we still not using it? Like, if you see in a lot of my clips, I'll be kiting around buildings and stuff, but I'm just spamming Netch. We'll pop a Vigor and we'll spam Netch. Like, that's plenty of healing to get through whatever you're getting through, as long as you're not getting bursted. Remember just to keep your armor buffs up and keep an eye on your shocks. I know a lot of people who are now getting into Warden or have played Warden for a while have a really bad uptime on shocks. I think they hit it, it goes off twice, and then they go through a whole bunch of other shit before they put shocks back down. Anytime my shocks run out, I'm going to hit it before I go back to my back bar, because it's going to be constant pressure around. So if I'm fighting somebody and my vigor's about to fall off, but my shocks went off, I'm hitting shocks and then I'm switching back, because it's still going to hit them, which is going to make them at least back up a little bit. Let's see what else we got. The reason why we go with the Wrecking Blow morph is, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a coding issue or what it is, but Wrecking Blow seems to be a lot smoother to hit than Dizzy Swing. And Warden is one of those classes that we can get away with it because we have a stun built in with the charm. If we didn't have the built-in stun with the charm, it would be very, very clunky, and I don't like having just Dawnbreaker as my only stun. Lotus is good to have, free healing just from light attacking, and you also get a big heal for heavy attacking, which we already have to do to proc our glitter set. It takes a heavy attack to proc it. But yeah, man, if y'all got any other questions about the Warden or about the build, feel free to drop them in the comments down below. Let me know. And yeah, your boy Hybrid will catch y'all in the next ESO video. Peace.